Straight to our top focus, that's some bad news for e-tailers or e-commerce retailers in India. The Indian government today announced certain changes for the e-commerce sector in the country. According to a new rule, any entity which is related to an e-commerce platform will not be able to sell on that particular site. It means that e-commerce giants who were selling household products and groceries under their own brand will face a huge setback. The Indian government has prohibited e-commerce platforms from giving any kind of preferential treatment to any supplier. It means that tough days are ahead for all kinds of cashback, exclusive sales and brand launches on your favorite website. The new framework will come into force from the 1st of February 2019. It's the brick and mortar retailers, the physical retailers, who will gain massively from these latest changes. Traders have often complained of losing out on customers as e-tailers were selling products at a cheaper price. Traders have complained how e-commerce entities were distorting the market by sourcing and selling goods on their own platforms. Remember, it's a violation of India's foreign direct investment policy, which does not allow FDI or foreign direct investment in the business-to-consumer e-commerce space. The Indian government allows 100% foreign direct investment in business-to-business e-commerce. And as expected, the Confederation of All India Traders welcomed the move. It said that the new move will bring clarity. It accused e-commerce companies of, quote-unquote, adopting all kinds of tactics to control and dominate retail trade in India. The Indian government is working on a separate e-commerce policy along with this latest guidelines as well. And now we have Mr. Rakesh Biani, who is a joint managing director of the Future Group, joining us live from Mumbai. Rakesh, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Help us understand this. The e-commerce players are saying that these new rules are meant to choke them, whereas the small traders are happy. Will customers be the winner?
Well, I think there is no reason for the e-commerce companies to sort of complain. Please keep in mind that officially in India, retail has been prohibited for a very long time through the e-commerce. As you rightly mentioned, B2C businesses are permitted. Each one of these were operating as marketplaces, and their job was to sort of connect a seller to a buyer. But in that process, many of them had started participating in the retail trade, which is not allowed by law. And that was happening because there were certain ambiguities in the way the rules were defined. And yesterday, the government has sort of come up with more clarity to those rules. And it sort of ensures the fact that there are mechanisms available now to restrict all the structures that some of these companies have ended up creating to participate in the retail trade. Now, this is not that, FDI is prohibited in retail trade. In e-commerce, FDI is also sort of restricted in the multi-brand space. And considering the fact that both are restricted when there is no FDI really coming in through a back channel route on the multi-brand space, but there is no need for it to come space also.
But Rakesh, my question to you is about what's going to happen to the consumer. What does it mean for the consumer? Because the consumer is the one who's happy when there's more choices and options of places to shop. This means a lot of their online shopping will get restricted, and a lot of India has taken to online shopping.
No, I don't think so, because the government has not banned the marketplace. The government has not asked the marketplaces to shut down. Sellers are continue to allowed to sell on these marketplaces. Marketplaces are allowed to provide payment services, logistics services, etc. So the marketplaces are here to stay. I think the only difference that is going to happen is the fact that some of the extraordinary discounts, which are not determined by market forces, but more really towards capturing a larger share of the market for a select set of sellers, that is getting restricted, which is a fair thing to do. So I don't see any reason why the consumer is going to sort of feel left out. There is no restriction on what the customer can buy or not buy. That's completely allowed. The sellers will continue to sell on these marketplaces. So the marketplaces are here to stay, and the consumers will also continue to get the price. And discounts which are also part and parcel of the trading environment, this will also be available. So I don't see any reason why this consumer should feel that he is not going to get the right choices in the future. That's not going to happen. That will continue the way it is.
Mr. Rakesh Wion, Joint Managing Director of Future Group, there taking time out to be with us here on Your Story on World is One. Thank you, Rakesh, for taking time out. US President Donald Trump is considering an executive order that would bar US companies from using telecommunication equipment made by Chinese telecom giants Huawei and ZTE. Reuters has reported that the executive order would invoke the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It gives the American president the authority to regulate commerce in response to a national emergency that threatens the US. Sources told Reuters that the order has been in consideration for 8 months and is not likely to name either Huawei or ZTE. The US has alleged that the two companies work for the Chinese government and that their equipment could be used to spy on Americans. Once passed, the executive order will push two of China's biggest telecom companies out of the US. Remember, this comes amidst the trade war between China and the US. And in the latest development, a few Indian companies have recommended their employees not to use Chinese smartphones as well, citing fears of snooping on their personal data. Employees have been warned that Chinese smartphone makers may access pictures, text messages, videos, and other documents from the mobile phones. Now, the main Chinese smartphone makers that are included in the list are Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi and OnePlus. After Australia, New Zealand and the US, now the UK has raised concerns over use of Huawei's technology in its 5G networks. Britain too has raised concerns over Chinese telecom giant Huawei's plans for the rollout of 5G. Just today, the British Defence Secretary voiced grave concerns over Huawei's role in the UK's 5G upgrade. India certainly needs to act and act fast before its telecom networks get compromised. So, why are countries across the world banning the Chinese tech giant? Huawei has been under scrutiny for years owing to national security fears. Its close proximity to the Chinese government has led to speculations that Huawei devices are being used by Beijing for spying. Huawei also deals in dual-use technology, which can be used by civilians as well as intelligence agencies. In the past, Huawei evaded sanctions to sell its products in Iran and North Korea. Away from that, it has been 15 days since a group of miners got trapped in a shaft in the northeast Indian state of Meghalaya. No contact has been established with the miners so far, and rescue officials are losing hope with every passing day.
Hopes of survival for the miners stuck in a shaft in Meghalaya has been dimming, with the rescue officials hinting at the worst.
पानी की सतह पे हल्की सी बैड ब्रेथ है, वहाँ पे महक है वहाँ, और वहाँ पे ज़्यादा देर तक रह पाना भी थोड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है.
In the East Jantia hills of Meghalaya, a rescue operation has been underway for close to a fortnight now, as over a dozen miners are believed to be trapped in a rat hole. This vertical boring in the hinterlands of northeast Indian state is where the miners are trapped. This pit is a part of several illegal mines across the state. The hapless miners have been trapped in one such mine since December 13. They got trapped after water from a nearby river flooded the digging. Even though teams of the National Disaster Response Force have been deployed to look for the miners, there are several factors that are hampering the operation. What's making matters worse is adverse weather conditions like heavy rains and strong winds. The water level in Mine 2 is over 70 feet, but the divers available can only dive 30 feet deep. The rescue teams have inadequate equipment, and they wait for powerful water pumps that can pull out water at a faster rate. There are other logistical issues like the non-availability of map of the illegal rat hole pits and tunnels. Rat hole mining is a fraud business that involves the digging of small vertical pits to access minerals and moving them through tunnels bored for the purpose. This form of mining is illegal as it has been banned by the National Green Tribunal in 2014. However, mining contractors persist with this practice, which puts the life of miners at great risk. So why is the government snoring? Why has equipment not reached at the site to help the rescue teams? Parallels are being drawn with the Thai soccer team's rescue operations from earlier this year. World-class equipment and volunteers flew in from across the globe. Specialists from near and far volunteered to get the junior team out. The situation in Meghalaya is very grim. There are no deep divers present at the spot, as was the case in Thailand. While contact was established with the Thai team, no contact has been made with the miners so far. While July's Tham Luang cave rescue saw a global rescue operation to locate 13 boys who had been trapped inside a cave, after a fortnight-long operation, the boys were finally rescued. But these miners have hardly had such luck and still await equipment like water pumps. Shortage of machinery, an ill-equipped team, worsening weather conditions and an ominous signal from the rescue officials. Almost a fortnight after the miners went missing, not much has worked in their favour. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.
The death toll in the Indonesian tsunami has risen to 430. Indonesian authorities have warned people to stay off the coast, especially in areas which were affected by the giant waves. Indonesia's Meteorology, Geophysics and Climatology agencies said that there are chances that the volcanic craters could slide into the sea and trigger another tsunami. At least 21,000 people have been evacuated to higher grounds. A state of emergency has been declared in order to make the deployment of assistance easier. Meanwhile, rescue teams are struggling to reach remote areas on the western coast of the Java Island. Fishing villages along the coast have also been lashed by heavy rain. Waterlogging has made it difficult to deliver heavy machinery aid to isolated areas. After Alphabet's Waymo built a city to train driverless cars, South Korea now has unveiled its own testing field for autonomous vehicles, meaning driverless vehicles. K-City is equipped with modern technology to assist self-driving cars. Take a look at this.
It has every feature of a modern city. Cafes, expressways and buildings. Yet it is one of a kind. Welcome to K-City, South Korea's recently established simulated town designed for self-driving tests. Roughly an 80-minute drive from capital Seoul, it's the largest test field for autonomous cars. Spread over 320,000 square meters, the test field has a simulating community, parking lot, a downtown area and an expressway. Built at a cost of more than $11 million, K-City provides 35 kinds of road test facilities, including railway crossings, trees and even potholes. South Korea aims to dominate the autonomous vehicle technology through the project.
인력적으로나 경제적으로 기반이 약한 중소기업이나 대학교 훨씬 더 압축해서 실험할 수 있고 그다음에 더 많은 데이터를 확보함으로써 더 좋은 기술 개발을 할 수 있을 것으로 기대하고 있습니다.
Simulated shops line up on both sides of the streets to check the car's ability to recognize the environment. Signboards and toll gates have also been set up across the field. In fact, K-City boasts of the world's first 5G network, though in an early stage. 4 signal base stations, 29 surveillance cameras and a control center enable exchange of information between cars under test and vehicles operated by humans. However, the field lacks natural environment simulation. To tackle this, the project's second phase will be carried out to simulate severe weather such as rain, snow and fog. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.